Welcome back to my channel. My name is Eghe, and today we are going to do something that has been long overdue for 7 months, 8 months. We're finally going to be doing wrap-ups from the month of January down to July or June. I don't know where I'm going to stop. Anyway, so we're going to be doing my wrap-ups finally. So this is going to be a recent read video, and this part we're going to be talking about books I read from January to March. So let's just begin, because I don't want this thing to be long. So for the month of January, I read 3 books. So for the month of January, I read 3 books, and so let's just begin. Let's not waste too much time. You know, this has been like how many months now that this thing should have come. So let's just do this thing sharp. So first, I read Dear Haiti, Love, Elaine, and basically this book is about a girl, Elaine, who gets in trouble in school and then is sent to Haiti to stay with her mother in order for her to learn to embrace her culture more and also bond with her mother, who also has a secret, discovers that she's ill with an illness, and so for the mother, in mother's part, she has to come to terms with her illness and learn how to live with it. And also the daughter and the mother, they have a very rocky relationship because of some past beef for a certain somebody abandoning another certain somebody. So there's a lot of healing that's supposed to take place in this book. So that was a very terrible way to I'm bad at descriptions. Anyway, I gave this book 3.5 stars. I think I enjoyed it, but not as much as I thought I would. I liked learning about Haiti, which is really interesting, and I would love to visit there sometime. And what else? I really enjoyed this book. I liked the world building, and it also had some magical realism aspect, which I really enjoyed. I think that's the part of the book I enjoyed the most. I just thought it was really cool. And then the story between the mother and daughter, honestly, it was just okay. But I can't remember. It was how many months ago? Don't kill me. The next is the Lonely Fajita, and this one also I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars. I honestly thought this book was going to be funny, because in some part they were like, oh, comic relief, blah blah blah. I think in the description I was reading it. Oh, I forgot to give you description. So this book is basically about this girl, lady, she's not a child, whose boyfriend kicks her out of his house and then breaks up with her, and then so she needs a place to stay, and so she joins this program where they pair a young person with an older person, like an elderly person, and make them live together so they can offer her companionship to each other. So she meets this older lady known as Annie. I can remember Annie's name, but I can't remember this young lady's name. But it was an interesting read. It was okay. I think this falls under the category of women's fiction. It was okay. I read this book long time ago, so don't stress me. The next book I read was like a love story, and I gave this one 5 stars. This was my first 5-star read of the year. I loved this book. It was a beautiful, wonderful, heartwarming, gorgeous, beautiful, all the words, all the good things, all the good feelings. I love this book. So I gave this book 5 stars. It follows 3 friends who, it takes place during the time where there was like, I should have reread this synopsis before doing this, but okay, I think I know it now. So this book centers 3 friends. I can't remember their names exactly, but one friend just moved from Canada. He moved from Canada to the US, and this book takes place where HIV was more prevalent in the homosexual community than in the heterosexual community, and so it was seen as a disease of gay people, and there was a lot of discrimination against them, and like they were not being attended to medically, they were not being given proper medical attention, and they were being discriminated against, and so there was a lot of protests going on in the background of this book, in which some of the main characters take very seriously, and they were like a part of. And it was honestly, it was very educative and informative, and also really interesting for me, and I really liked this book. So what was I saying? So it's about 3 main characters. One just moved to the US, and he knows he's gay, but he's afraid that he's going to, because that time they were like, oh, HIV is a disease and that he's going to catch it and going to die. One other person, Art, I remember his name, he's the one that is very about protesting. He's very socially conscious, is that the word? Ah, God, I'm not doing this book justice. It's a beautiful book, basically. I really loved it. I can't remember the things, but there's a love story between these 2 boys, the Art and this one that just moved, and it's really cute. And then he has a best friend also, and it's a beautiful, wholesome story about acceptance and love and everything good in life. So if you haven't read it, please read it. I don't know how to describe it. I'm sorry, I do a terrible job. So that's it for January. For the month of February, I was in a reading slump and I did not read anything, so yay me. And then we go to March. In March, I read a few books. I read 11 books in total, because like I said, my memory is faulty. I might not remember things in detail, so I'm just going to skim over these things, not so as not to waste your time. I'm just doing this because I don't want this year to go without me doing a wrap-up of the books I read. So I'm sorry if this video is very somehow. So for the month of March, the books I read were, in no particular order, The Majesties, and I gave this 4 stars. This book is a book about 2 sisters. One kills her entire family, poisons everybody at their grandfather's burial, and so the other one is stuck in a coma after poison, obviously, and so she tries to look back upon her life, try and figure out why her sister decided to kill everybody. I really enjoyed this one. It was a thriller, and also had a lot of family drama in it, and I really enjoyed the thriller aspects. Well, not really, but I'm not a thriller. I'm not well versed in that area, so any little thrilling thing excites me. But I enjoyed that aspect. I liked the twists, and then the family drama. The family drama honestly felt like something you can see in a soap opera. Like, it was very dramatic, but I enjoyed it. I like soap operas and things like that, so I don't think it's a problem for me. But I don't know, maybe some people might not like it. I don't know. Depends on your taste, but I enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 stars. The next I read was No Fixed Address. This is my first middle grade book in a really long time. I'm not saying the names of the authors because I can't remember all of them, so I'm just going to skip so to be in uniform. So anyway, the next book I read was No Fixed Address. I gave this 4 stars also. I really enjoyed this book. So this book basically follows this young boy. I think his name is Phil something. I can't remember. Felix. His name is Felix. So basically, him and his mother are homeless and they live in her car. They describe the car. It's not a car. It's like that. You know that one that they drive in Scooby-Doo? Yes, something like that. I don't know the name, but something like that. This thing they drive in Scooby-Doo. So they live there and they are homeless, and it just follows his life and how he tries to cope with school and his friends and everything. And it was a beautiful, wholesome story, and I really loved it. And Felix is such a lovable and beautiful character, and someone you can't help but root for, and I really enjoyed following his story. So I gave this 4 stars. His mother, on the other hand, I have a few beef with her. On one hand, I understand that she had an illness, and so is in a lot of cases and situations that she found herself, she couldn't help it, and it wasn't her fault. So in that aspect, I understand that. But there were also certain things that happened to Felix that I was just like, oh my God, why would this woman let this happen? Like, so I don't know. I have mixed feelings about his mother, but I really loved Felix. The next book I read was Here the Whole Time, and this follows 2 boys, Philippe and Chow. I probably got the names wrong, but basically this is also another wholesome, beautiful, loving, wonderful story. This is a feel-good book that you just read to feel good about yourself and love life and love everything. You know, after I read this book, the sky is blue, the wind is windy. You understand me now? So basically this book follows Philip, who is in love with his neighbor. He has a crush on his neighbor, let me know if I exaggerate. And then he finds out that his neighbor has to stay with him for, I think, 15 days because his neighbor's parents are traveling. So he has to stay with them, and then just how they interact and learn to coexist with each other. And I really like this story. I found it really relatable because there are a lot of things that Philip he does that are just like, again, I can see myself in such a situation. So yeah, and I also kind of liked how he grew. Like at the beginning he was very self-conscious, and like, because he's big and he's very self-conscious about himself, and he gets bullied in school because of his weight. And so as he grows in this book, he learns about other people with other body types that, and he sees that it's a struggle, that it's not just for him alone. Like he finds other people that are also struggling, and you know, he just grows and learns to be more comfortable with himself and accepts himself more. And I connected with him, and there were just some awkward moments he finds himself in that I could see myself in such situations. So I really liked Philippe for that aspect. So gave this 4 stars, really enjoyed it. The next was Make a Scene, and I gave this 3.5 stars. I really enjoyed this. Was just a short, light, steamy, beautiful read for when you're just in the mood for something light and steamy. But I gave it 3 stars, 3.5 stars, because it was too short. And so because it was too short, I wanted more. And also I don't feel like the characters were as fleshed out as they would have been if the book was longer and given time to really expand and grow. And anyway, but apart from that, I really like this story. It was really good. Make a Scene, I keep on forgetting to give the description. So Make a Scene is basically about this girl whose name I can't remember, who has to go to her cousin's wedding, and her cousin is getting married to her ex. So now she has to find somebody to take to the wedding, so she will not look as if she's sad and miserable after her ex-boyfriend, who is now marrying her cousin, left her. And so she makes a deal with her neighbor to go to the wedding with her in exchange for parking space. And that's how the love blossomed. That's all you need to know. Read it if you're interested. The next I read was When You See Me by Lisa Gardner. This one I read for my book club. I think there's a vlog somewhere out there for this book. Did I enjoy this one? You could say so. This is my problem with this book, was that this is a book in a series, and I did not know that. And then I picked it up and read, and as a standalone it was okay. You can actually read it as a standalone. It's just that they made a lot of references back to previous books. And so because it was a book in a series, I did not feel as connected as I would have loved to be connected to, because of the many spaces and references they kept making back to previous books that I could not come to terms with because I have not read said previous books. So because of that, I did not enjoy the story as much as I would have. But as a standalone, it was actually a really okay book. The mystery and thriller at the end was not necessarily predictable, but not as satisfying as I would have wanted it to be. It was not as, the payoff wasn't as satisfying, but it was an objectively okay book. So basically the series, I believe, follows a serial killer, and then this book takes place as this particular book in the series takes place after this serial killer has died. And so the police and detectives in this book, they're not trying to like find other victims of this said serial killer. And so in the process of finding victims, they discover a dead body in a small town, and so they go there and they try to see how this dead body is connected to the serial killer, while also discovering sinister secrets of the small town. That was a very terrible. You know, I'm bad at descriptions. I feel like we should establish one fact. My descriptions are terrible. Now let's move on. The next book I read was Girls of Riyadh. I'm probably pronouncing that name badly. Really, really terribly. I'm terrible at names. I'm so sorry for butchering names. But I gave this 4 stars. This book I also really, really enjoyed. And basically, this book follows 4 young women in Riyadh, which is, I believe, in Saudi Arabia, and just how they go about their daily lives, overcoming the different trials and tribulations thrown at them. And I really enjoyed the book. I did not necessarily relate to the struggles of these women, but I really felt bad for them, because especially certain characters, some of the things that happen to them are things out of their control, and I really did not like the way society twisted it and blamed them, where this, if you look at it, there were things that it wasn't their fault, but at the end of the day, they were the ones that bear the consequences for actions that were out of their control. So I really felt bad for them, and it was an okay story. It was okay. I liked it. 4 stars. Then I read too many books this month. The next book I read, I'm just going to talk about them together because they are books in a series, was See No Evil and Speak No Evil by can't remember the author's name. I gave See No Evil 3 stars, then Speak No Evil 2 stars. See No Evil was the first book in the series. So basically, this series is, I believe you can read them as a standalone, but I know they are not. I don't think you can read them as a standalone. I feel like I can read them as a standalone, but they're supposed to be read together because they follow, like, they have like a general storyline. So in the first book, it follows this girl who's the daughter of, I think, like a mafia group of a gang, and then she sees her uncle killing her boyfriend, and her boyfriend is the son of another gang, and so she goes to testify against her uncle in courts, which makes her family, they are not a fan of snitches, so they are now looking for her to kill her. So she has to enter a witness protection program, and so they hide her in an all-boys school. So she's hiding in an all-boys school, and it's like, this is a sports romance meets, yes, the sports romance, because in the school they play hockey or something like that. Yes, they play hockey, ice hockey. There's a difference. Yes, there's a difference. So they play ice hockey in the school, and so is hockey not always on ice? I would not know that, but they play that, and so she meets one of the boys in the school, blah blah blah. He learns a secret. You know how it goes now. And I don't know, this book is actually quite cliche. Some of the lines are quite cringy, and I'm just like, why am I reading this? But I listened to this as an audio book, and I think the narrators did really well, and I enjoyed it. So I gave it 3 stars. And then book 2 continues the storyline, and I don't want to really talk much about what happens in book 2. I'm just going to say that it doesn't follow 2 main characters from book 1. The second book takes place from the perspective of one of the friends of one of the main characters from the first book, and then it's still following that whole storyline of the mafia is after somebody, and then she has to write, but like, we continue the story from another person's point of view. And I don't want to give too much away, but like I said, this book was cliche and cringy, and I enjoyed the first book because it was just like, oh, okay. And then the second book was also okay, but I did not enjoy it as much. In truth, both books should have the same ratings, but I just enjoyed the first book more. That's why it's 3 stars, and this one is 2 stars. Then the next book I read was Popped, and this one, did not enjoy this book at all. Okay, I enjoyed certain aspects because it was really funny. It was a funny book. They made a lot of really silly jokes that was just like, oh my god. But the lines were also cringy and disney. I honestly can't even remember what I read in this book, but it was a sports romance, and there was this girl and this boy, and I think they had a one-night stand, and then the relationship continued from there. I can't remember what I read. I just know that I read it it was funny sometimes. Some of the jokes were just a little bit, you know, but it was okay. 2 stars. The next I read was The First Woman by Jennifer Nasbuga Makumbi. My queen, my president. 5 stars. That's all. I have a vlog. Please watch the vlog. I love this book. If you want to know more about my thoughts of this book, watch the vlog. But 5 stars. And then the last book I read this month, which is the month of March, was Take a Hit, Danny Brown, and I gave this 4 stars. Danny Brown is my queen. I love her. I love all the Brown sisters. Yes, I also have a vlog, so check that out if you're interested in my thoughts. And I think this should be the end of this video. Thank you for watching this video with me so far, and hope to see you in the next one.